Hello and welcome to 10 Days of Gratitude. I'm your host, Mia Saenz, and with me in this segment, I'm honored to bring to you guys Arielle Ford. Welcome, Arielle. It's lovely to have you.
Thank you, Mia. It's fun to be with you.
So Arielle, sitting here on my left, or my right, I'm not sure which, you can see how beautiful her eyes are. I just wanted to point this out. This is the first time that I've seen Arielle in person.
Uh,
Well, almost in person, but she exudes love, and this is what's really important, I believe, about the work that she does, as dealing with deeper love relationships and things like that. We're going to talk about her books, and we're going to talk about her work, but I really want to have Arielle share with us a few minutes of what's coming through right now that you'd like to share, whether it is about your work, whether it's about your books and your process. Since this is a show on gratitude, we're going to get into gratitude, and I do have some questions
yeah.
for you. But what would you like to share with us now? You've been a publicist, you've been a speaker, an author, a sister, a wife, a daughter.
Well, I think what's most fascinating to me right now is how interesting it is to think that your life's going to go one way and then God has another plan for you. And that the survival key is really flexibility, wonder, curiosity, and a willingness to walk the path that's laid out before you, because it was totally, completely unpredictable that I would end up having this conversation with you, being both a student and a teacher of love and relationships, because given my early childhood growing up in a very typical dysfunctional divorced family where love was not the stage, the fact that this is all I talk about right now is really, I just wake up in the morning scratching my head going, huh? How did this happen? But it has, so I'm grateful for it.
What were some of your steps that shifted and changed you when you were younger? Because I was raised metaphysical, but I had a highly dysfunctional, abusive, which people say they don't go hand in hand. And I'm like, well, they do and they don't. It was my
Yes.
saving grace, and it's what, brought in
Yeah.
the glory of what I feel and express today. So what was your change for you? Because that's part of the dreaming that people want to grab onto to understand that they can change too.
Yeah. Well, there were many, and I'll tell you about a few of them. And so as a child and a teenager and a young adult, I suffered from a lot of depression, even suicidal at times. And I was on antidepressants and in therapy and really just a basket case. And it wasn't until I was around 24, 25 that I actually got to a therapist who knew what she was doing. And as I was at one of my lowest points, she said to me the most craziest thing ever. She said, I don't think you're depressed enough. And it's like, what, are you kidding me? I said, I'm ready to like jump off a building. She said, no, if you were depressed enough, you would do something to change it. You would figure out how to change it. And I was like, well, isn't that your job? And she's like, she goes, I can guide you, but I can't fix you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the first inkling I had that there was some level of personal responsibility that I didn't know that was important to the process. And I would like to say that changed my life, but it didn't. It was a turning point.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that changed a couple of years later, I was actually at a very big party in a multi-million-dollar home on the water in Miami, and I was feeling very insecure and nervous and out of like a fish out of water. And I noticed that I was surrounded by all these people having fun, and they were smiling and they were happy. And I thought to myself, what do I have to do to be like that? And even though I didn't know, I decided that I was going to start to study happy people. That
Mm-hmm.
even though I wasn't happy, didn't know how to be happy, maybe I could mimic it. I could imitate them. I could fake it till I make it. So that was a big turning point. I started doing it. And then a few years later, I was so fortunate to read a book called Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain, which was a game changer for me. I had no idea that I could co-create my future with the universe. I didn't know that I wasn't a victim. I didn't know that the winds of change could, I thought the winds of change could blow me from place to place. I didn't know I had any say in where I went. And so I studied that book, and I took that book on, and twice a day, every day, I would sit down and I would do my visualizations, and I got almost instant success, which made me want to study it further and deeper. And I won't go into all of it, but within the first 7 days of reading that book, I manifested, I moved to Los Angeles from Miami. I manifested a job, a new place to live, a car, and a new friend.
It's
Okay?
awesome.
In 7 days,
Mhm.
and so over the years, I became very adept at manifesting things in the physical world, on the physical plane. You mentioned I used to be a book publicist. Well, I was a book publicist starting in the late 80s, and my early clients, before they were household names, because I helped to make them household names, were people like Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, Neil Donald Walsh, Don Miguel Ruiz, Gary Zukav, Louise Hay, Marianne Williamson. I worked with all of those folks. So I got really, really good at manifesting. And one day, when I was 43 years old, I woke up early in the morning and had this crazy aha moment, which was, geez, oh my God, I forgot to get married. And I started thinking about, well, how did that happen? I'm a relatively attractive person. I was very successful. I had skills. I had friends. I had money, but I had no husband. And I realized that I had used all of my manifesting talents on work and lifestyle. And would it work on my love life? And I honestly didn't know. But I decided to try it. And within 6 months, I manifested the most amazing guy on the planet. And we're about to celebrate our 18th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
So, and even then when I did that, I was still a literary agent and a book publicist and a business owner. And then my husband and I started a business together. And I hope you can't hear that god-awful noise
We
outside.
can, but that's okay. They're enjoying it too.
Yeah, you know what? Give me 1 second. I'm going to shut the door.
Okay.
Okay? So you vamp for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, I've got my gardener under control. He knows not to do that, but the neighbor, not so much. So I was talking about, manifesting love. So
and
what
you
happened?
and you were your 18th. What?
Yeah, so we've now been together 18 years, and about 8 years ago, my sister asked me to give a little talk about how I manifested my soulmate. She had 200 coaches on a cruise with her. So I gave the talk, and they were all like, oh my God, I need the book, I need the book. So that was sort of the start of the book, The Soulmate Secret.
Mm-hmm.
And then my publisher came back and said, okay, what's the next book? And it's like, oh no, there's no more books. I just told you everything I know about manifesting a soulmate. And they said, okay, they tricked me. They said, well, if you were going to write another book, what would it be? And I said, well, I've got this title called Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate, because I learned a lot after I got married that it's one thing to manifest a soulmate. That actually is the easy part. Mm-hmm. Learning to live with him, that's a whole other thing. So that is the next book that's coming out at the end of the year. And I'm not sure I answered your question, but
no, it's also beautiful. They're all enriching and they help us shift and move. So we were going through the process of your changes, and
right,
and they're lovely. They're just, so many people don't get to that point like your therapist. I don't think you're depressed enough. I say to my clients, when is enough enough? When have you had enough? Because that's when you have had enough is when you actually say, I'm changing. You seem to open up that door within your heart that just says, okay, I surrender, I'm changing.
Right. And the thing is, what's so great is that none of us have to do it alone. You can ask God, your angels, your ancestors, the devas, your friends. I feel very strongly that God created coaches and therapists because none of us can do this alone. You have friends, accountability partners. So if there's misery in any part of your life, you can do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody has to take it anymore. There's things that can be done. And given the internet and YouTube, you can almost do it for free if you need to.
At least get started.
You
For
can
sure.
totally get started, yes.
Yeah. Now I love, and not a lot of people talk about this, but if you know, people who go to my page, my Facebook page, or any of my social media, they see that I talk about creating, being a creator.
Yeah.
And I love how you were saying you could co-create with the universe.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about that so that people who, you know, when they see me, just say, not everybody watching this is coming from me, but when they see me, they're like, okay, so I understand what Mia's saying, but it'd be lovely to have another person's view who believes in creation and that we are creators and we can do magnificent things.
Yes. Okay, so the quantum physicists have proven, and they call it different things, so some would call it the unified field, Greg Braden would call it divine matrix, whatever you want to call it. The belief and the understanding and the knowing is that the past, the present, and the future is all happening at once in the now moment. There's no future out there, there's no past back there, there's just now. And in this now moment, we are all connected to everything and everybody. So if you have a desire for something, Deepak Chopra would tell you that the seeds for the fulfillment of that desire already exist within you, or you wouldn't have the desire. Mm-hmm. So on the unseen level, what you're desiring is already yours. It's up to you to know, trust, and believe in every cell of your body that what you're asking for is already yours. Now, the place to get to is to say, well, for many single people, they would say, yes, but there's no man in my life. There's no woman in my life. You know, there's no evidence that there's love in my life. And I would say you need to redo your thinking. Mm-hmm. So let's start with what the desire really is. The desire is to love and be loved, to share your life with another. And if you just simply look around, there are plenty of those people already in your life. It could be your parents, your siblings, your coworkers, your friends, your cats, and your dogs. There's no shortage of people who love and accept you for who you are right now. And even if you only have one, if you will take the time to be grateful for that one person who loves you, you will activate in your heart the magnetism to have more love. You know, the Course in Miracles has this magnificent line that says, the only thing that can be lacking in any situation is that which you are not giving. So if you're having the experience of no love, then it is up to you. It is your personal responsibility to be love for somebody else. Does that all make sense?
Oh, Lordy, yes.
Am I talking your language, Mia?
You are. You know, it's beautiful because we become masters or even proficient. Let's say proficient. Okay. We become proficient at what we want. So if we want to love or we want more love, we work that and we bring it in. If we want to be a ballerina, then we have to practice that.
Well, let me just shift one word you're using because I've trained myself to do this. So wanting is a little different from desire. Mm-hmm. So when we're in a state of wanting, the message the universe will be getting is that something's missing. Mm-hmm.
It's not as
wanting something, as opposed to being in a state of gratitude. I'm so grateful for all of my abundance. I'm so grateful for all that I have. My desire is for romantic love partner, and simultaneously I'm grateful for the love that I have. Mm-hmm. So I want to start training people to not use the word want. Mm-hmm. Although it reminds me of a really funny story. We were in Tiffany's, sort of just window shopping one day, and there was this beautiful diamond bracelet, and Brian sort of jokingly said to me, "Oh, would you like it?" And I said to him, "Well, I don't really need it." And the gentleman behind the counter said, "Madam, this is not about need. This is about want." And I thought, that's a very interesting distinction. Now, I didn't need a $200,000 diamond bracelet when I work from home in my sweats.
Right.
Do I want it? Yes. Do I need it? No.
You know, words are very powerful, and their intention and their vibration, so it's good that you brought that up. There are several words that I've removed from my vocabulary just because they don't resonate on, on a pure level. So,
Which ones? Tell us which ones.
should,
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
um,
Try. I'll
yeah,
try.
try is one, hate, hate.
Yeah.
That vibrates so badly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so removing that kind of stuff, being familiar with what we say is very important. So,
Yeah.
thank you for pointing that out. So,
And the thing I want to also say now that we're talking about already having that which you desire on the unseen level, I like to also call this love before first sight. So if you're single and desiring a soulmate, you can begin that relationship today. You can close your eyes and go into your heart and begin to talk to your soulmate, even though you don't know his name or where he lives or what day he's going to show up in the 3D world. You can start the heart connection today. And you don't actually have to believe that it's happening. Just do it and practice it. Just fake it till you make it, because there will be times when you do this that you'll actually feel his presence in the room with you.
well, it's holding that space. It's opening it up. It's appreciate, like you're saying, the already unseen. When we manifest our mate, we absolutely have to include that. You buy, say you're out just window shopping and you see these sweet little seashells or heart-shaped rocks or something. Buy two, one for you and one for your mate. I did that after I found my second mate, my second husband. And he said, what are these? And I'm like, I'm still holding the space for you, babe. We're together, but and so he started seeing things on a different level and would love those little, two little matching candles or, two little hearts that, say love and peace or whatever it is. So it's
our wedding cake topper was two dolphins leaping together.
Very cool. Very cool. And you live in the beach area, so so do I. But yeah.
Where are you?
In LA. So.
Oh, okay. I'm just down the road in La Jolla.
Yeah, I have family there, and I'll be there next weekend. So,
oh, good.
Yeah, I love it. So let's talk more about gratitude. What are ways in which you bring it in? I know that you also are a big manifester in law of attraction. So let's talk about law of attraction and manifestation and gratitude, because I say you can't have those without the gratitude.
Well, the gratitude is the secret sauce to successful manifesting. I mean, the basic 101 of the law of attraction is we draw to us the people, places, and experiences that match our state of being. Mm-hmm. But what happens is that people, learn how to visualize, and they spend all this time up here in their head with pictures, but yet in their heart and on the emotional level, they don't feel worthy of what they're asking for. They don't believe or trust that they're deserving of it or that it's going to happen. Thus, the visualizing never works for them. So I have recoined and named it a feelingization. I actually trademarked this word. It's a feelingization. And I do processes with people, and I can tell you where to get them for free on my website, where I move them from their head to their heart. Mm-hmm. And so we drop down into our heart, and we have moments of experiencing gratitude, love, and appreciation, as if whatever it is we're thinking about, let's say you're grateful that somebody cooked you a lovely dinner last week, and in your heart, you're grateful for them, you're grateful for the food, you're re-experiencing the moment as if it's happening now in present moment awareness. And you literally change the alchemy of your body. If you were hooked up to a heart rate monitor, you would see that your heart rate went from being all spiky into beautiful sine waves, and that you would be into heart coherence. And when you're in heart coherence, your electromagnetic field goes out another 12 to 25 feet. You raise your immune system for 7 to 8 hours. You're healthier, you're happier, and you're a lot nicer to be around. This is all the research of our friends at the Institute of Heart Math. So gratitude is the absolute core secret sauce to manifesting, because you don't, like some people would say prayer. Okay, I'm going to pray, dear God, Please send me a new job. I don't have a job. I'm broke. Please help me. That's a prayer of solicitation. Now you can do that. It might work. It might not work. The better prayer that does work is, dear God, I am so grateful, so divinely grateful for this new position that I have that pays me a really great wage, that I'm now abundant and prosperous, that I can share my wealth with the world and I can share my love with the world. I couldn't do this. I am grateful. Now that's how to pray. That's how to effectively pray. Not like, please send me something because it's missing.
And
the job's
it's not
already
hard.
yours. You're already connected to the job. Now, will you have to go on 17 interviews to get it? Yes, you might. But as long as you keep holding on to, I'm so grateful that I am productive and that I'm abundant and that my needs are being met. And you can find ways to be grateful, not like, yes, but the bills are piling up. Oh, but let's see, I'm sitting here. It's Wednesday. Do I have enough air to breathe? Yes. Do I have enough water to drink? Yes. Did I eat breakfast? Yes. Do I have people who love me? Yes. Find anything to be grateful for. And in those moments of gratitude, be grateful for that which you already know is coming.
Love it. It is really important just to, that gratitude keeps that flow open. It keeps the abundance coming. It really is beautiful. I've had several healings. I'm a third generation spiritual practitioner, and I've had several healings just from gratitude alone. As a child, I had buck teeth. I couldn't even bite into a sandwich without leaving the top part. And when I was about in the fourth grade, so I was about 9, my grandmother sat me down and said, dear, let's work on gratitude for everything regarding your mouth, your toothbrush, your toothpaste, the ability to brush your teeth. So I did this, and it would expand out further and further. And when I got into junior high a couple years later, kids would say, when did you get your braces off? You have beautiful teeth. And I ran into the bathroom, and I looked at myself, and I was like, oh, my goodness, my teeth are straight. So,
wow.
There's...
That's dramatic. I've never heard a story quite that dramatic.
Well, a healing is a healing, and it's whether it's internal, whether it's physical. We can heal bones, all sorts of stuff. But gratitude brings so much. I mentioned to you before that I was raised metaphysical, so this has been a part of my life, bringing in the divine that way, and I love it, and it's beautiful for everybody to experience that. And that's one reason that we do 10 Days of Gratitude, because whether it's a little bit they want to get into it or a lot, it moves them into the place that they would like to be. Do you have specific tips that you'd like to share that you use for yourself?
I pretty much do it spontaneously. I don't have a specific gratitude practice. I do know that when I'm sort of off center, the first thing I look for is my spiritual toolkit. And my spiritual toolkit is filled with all kinds of goodies. So, doing a feelingization or a heart lock-in or a Sedona method, or one of my favorites is EFT tapping, which I do at least once a day, if not more. And gratitude's a part of all of those. It's always a welcoming in of what's so, as opposed to a pushing away and a denial. Now, I know one thing that a lot of people come up against is sometimes they go into a negative feedback loop where they're really spiraling down and stuck in, some negative self-talk. I'm a loser, I'm so lonely, I'm an idiot, nothing good's ever going to happen for me, whatever that is. And I have a remedy for that I'd like to share because it works really well.
Awesome.
So, when you're stuck in that, let's just say you've given up on love. Okay, we're going to make something up. You're 57 years old, you're divorced, you haven't been properly kissed in 20 years, you're convinced that you're too old, you're too fat, you're too damaged, all the good ones are taken, there's no good men out there. Good, okay? Stop trying to deny that that's how you're feeling and thinking right now. If you have an egg timer, go set it for 3 minutes. If you have an iPhone, set it for 3 minutes. Set something for 3 minutes. And then for 3 minutes, I want you to say the most horrific, nasty, ugly, negative things to yourself that you could possibly come up with. Really exaggerate. Just go down the rabbit hole. No positive thinking allowed. Now, if you do this correctly, you will not be able to do it for 3 minutes because you'll start laughing, because your rational mind will kick in and remind you, no, it's not true. You are not that ugly. You are not that old. You are not that damaged, whatever it is. And what you've done is you've let the steam off. It's like a pressure cooker. You took, instead of trying to suppress what's so, you just let it all out. And then once you let it all out, then start filling yourself back up. Start small. Go in front of a mirror and blow yourself a kiss. Go take a nice warm bath. Make a list of 10 good things that you've done this year to help other people. Just start to fill yourself back up. But first, let the poison out. This is why a lot of people like to get piercings. They say, I'm not into piercings at all, but I've asked them, why do you do this? And it's like, oh, because the piercing lets the darkness out and the light in.
Interesting.
Sometimes we all have dark sides. This was what my sister Debbie's work was all about. She wrote The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. Yeah, the shadow. We all have one. So we shouldn't be in denial of it, and we shouldn't be, and I'm shoulding all over everybody, be afraid of it, but it's just a reality. We have both a light side and a dark side. And we could talk to just about anybody and say, tell me about your dark side. And they would talk for a half hour. Okay, now tell me about your light side. And they wouldn't have anything to say.
Really?
Because they disown their light side.
Right.
They're very familiar with the parts of them that are greedy or angry or selfish or insecure. But if you ask them, what's your light side? How many people are just going to look at you and go, oh, well, I'm a kind, loving, caring, generous, compassionate, helpful person. That probably wouldn't roll off their tongue.
And also, society has not allowed us to be accepting of that. I mean, seriously. Or somebody listening to that.
Well, then you're hanging out with the wrong folks.
I agree with you. But we got all sorts of people that are going to be watching this. So, yeah, you are hanging out with the wrong folks if people aren't supportive of you. Yeah.
And, that's another level at which you have control over your life. They say that you become the composite of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you don't like a lot of the traits of the 5 people you spend the most time with, you need to change them, because if what your desire is to be, a self-aware, self-evolved, loving, kind, generous, compassionate member of the human race, then you can't be hanging out with haters.
Exactly. And I also believe that as you start to grow, your vibration changes so much that people just will leave your experience and good ones, beautiful people come in.
Yes, you will notice as you begin to grow, people will begin to make you wrong or pick fights with you or try to avoid you, and just take this as a sign of your growth and find new friends.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you. Now, we're almost through, and you talked about a few free gifts on your site, so I wanted you to just point us to one, and we're going to use that in our email.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. Well, if you go to soulmatesecret.com/big love, there's a free ebook that answers all your questions about manifesting a soulmate.
Awesome. Wonderful. Everybody will certainly love that. Thank you so much, Arielle. This was lovely.
You're so welcome.
Lovely to have you on.
Great to meet you.
It's lovely to meet you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, honey. And thank you, everyone. We'll see you in another episode.